which our hero's journey reaches a dramatic climax. A series of joys and sorrows in Fei Fei's personal life are mirrored in her professional life, but importantly, at this point in the journey, these are still kept separate. This will foreshadow things in later chapters. A long, bumpy arc of expectations, disappointments, hopes, doubts, ultimately reaching a period of despair, and then finally, soaringly, vindication. Her resolve is severely tested in this journey. Her big bets, the magnum opus of ImageNet, introduced but met with indifference or hostility. Inviting the community to test their codes on ImageNet led only incremental improvements and waning interest, not to the revolution in machine vision algorithms that she had confidently predicted, until one day the revolution arrived. So the most surprising element for me in chapter 8 was the identity of this revolutionary algorithm. Nowadays, we all know neural nets are a big deal, but probably unlike most of you on this call, while I was reading this, I was blissfully ignorant of the actual history. So I was just as gobsmacked as Fei Fei and Jia were, albeit for a different reason, to learn that a neural net was the revolutionary. At the time, Fei Fei says, it was like learning that the land speed record had been broken, not by a little, by a lot, and by a Honda Civic. What's also surprising, perhaps more broadly, is that this advance happened at all. Somebody had to be crazy enough to build ImageNet. Thank you, Fei Fei. Someone else had to keep working on neural nets when everybody else had abandoned the field. Thanks, Jeff Hinton. And yet somebody else had to build the ideal hardware for a completely different application, all in parallel, all becoming available contemporaneously. So maybe the broader lesson from these surprises in the book's title: the more folks there are who can see new or different worlds, the greater the chances that these kinds of advances will happen.